My first recommendation is that a national inquiry on anti-black racism in federal institutions be instituted and supported by both houses of government. Leadership in our institutions continue to fail people of African descent in Canada. I echo the calls for rights-based, human rights-based complaints, race-based complaints to be sent directly to the Human Rights Tribunal. People should have their cases of discrimination heard, not summarily dismissed. And that's why, and I also echo, and a number of us have been calling for this from community, an independent expert on anti-black racism to investigate the Commission's practices as is definitely required. It's a no-brainer. This is something that we should have put in place a long time ago. You can't only have people who enjoy generational white privilege as the sole stewards of the soul of a racially diverse nation. Bad things happen to us when this kind of dynamic is left unchecked. This has been decades of this dynamic being left unchecked. And last but not least, a Black Equity Commissioner. We've been talking about this. We need this. This is a legacy building piece for Canada. There are not very many results for the UN Decade for People of African Descent. We're at the end of that process. Intergenerational decline of Black people in this country is directly linked to the institutional structures that maintain anti-Black racism in every single aspect of our Canadian work life. The UN has stated this. Our own statistics, reports, studies, in all aspects of Canadian life have shown this to be true. And so to close, this is not an if anti-Black racism exists within our institutions, including the Commission. It is how bad is this cancer? How bad is this illness? And can we do what's necessary to heal it? Canadians may be shaken by the revelations that the Canadian Human Rights Commission is not what they thought it was. But now that we have the data, we have the evidence, and we have the verdict, the challenge for us now as a society, as institutions, is whether we have the level of ambition to achieve results for Canadians, even for those who are Black.
Mr. Sharpe, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we have senators who have questions, if you can.
That was my last sentence.
Okay, thank you. I'll let you finish your last sentence.
Okay. It was my most impactful sentence, too. So I got to say it with the same kind of bravado, if you will allow me. Now that we have the data, the evidence, the verdict, the challenge for us is whether or not we have the level of ambition to achieve results for Canadians, even for those who are Black. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Merci beaucoup.